Did you try a new type of latte? Did you maybe meet somebody as you were going around the corner to pick up a newspaper? And it could be something as different as, oh, I actually have a meeting coming up in an hour after this session. It's an all hands meeting and I have to report the numbers for my department. I'm going to put the clock on 1 minute. You will see the timer in my view, in my screen. The question is, in regards to this meeting or the event you have coming up or something you've done in the past, what was the one thing you wanted your audience to know? That if you experienced trying a new latte, let's say, what's the one thing you would tell somebody about that experience? So here's the clock. Are we ready? Yeah,
Go.
here we go.
Okay, so actually last week I had two workshops at the work. I was facilitating those workshops, and in both actually I had the same goal for that and for the group, that the group could have an agreement on ideas and solutions to be made, and then to move forward to next step.
Agreement on a solution about what?
Actually, about the topics actually, very specific topic, different topics, but yeah. So actually, the idea was for them to get to an agreement actually, because they never sat in the same table, and there was like differentiate different things or ideas there, so they needed to come up with some agreements and one solution and then move forward on that.
And now we're going to take the next step on this because, like, if you thought of the words we shared in the beginning about a sunny day, a busy weekend, a sunny weekend, right? And we start to dig in a little deeper. Herman, I'd love for you to come into the spotlight. You mentioned workshops, agreement on a solution about the topics you were talking about.
Yeah.
Let's put the timer on 1 minute. And what I'm going to ask you to do is tell me specifically what topic it is we need to know. We need a solution for. Here we go.
Okay. So the first topic was about some corporate registration at the company that I'm working on. So it was very, very specific that some things are manually done nowadays in the digital era, and actually they really need to be digitalized. So that was the aim for the goal for the workshop, for the first one. And the second one was more related to innovation days at the company that I'm working for as well. So we wanted to improve stuff. And the second one, it was same thing, right? So it was having the idea to have an agreement and show something about that, how innovative we can be.
Okay. Thank you for that. Who has an idea of what he wants his audience to know?
I felt like
It's
it would
kind of
be
like,
a very specific audience that would know the context
well, it's
and
an audience. It's sunny. It's busy. It's rainy. It's great. Another minute. We're going to take it even deeper. And the idea here to answer Joy is the idea is, what is the one thing? What is my big idea that I want my audience to know? And we're going from, I want an agreement, to now, which is fine. He wants an agreement about on a solution. But now we're building in on making it more specific. Now, you brought up a good point, Herman, NDA. No problem.
Yeah, I can build up.
You're allowed to talk. I'm sorry?
I can build up from another words with another words, of course, and try to build up from there.
Well, here's what I'd love for you to try is use company B and person Q. Doesn't matter. You don't have to use names to be specific. We're just looking for that moment. You said corporate registration. Something needs to be digital. What is one example? In a minute's time, share with us what is one example of what that looks like? Because I'm not sure what corporate registration is and what needs to be digitized. Do you have an example? Either that you've worked with your team or was something that was in the trades or another project that you could cite as an example for that particular idea.
Perfect. Yeah, it's actually easy peasy between commas, but I can say that if you have a corporate registration, like we said, some company B wants to sell the services from company A, and they actually nowadays they can register online. But then after that, the registration, which is online and it's digital, a lot of things are happening like manually. So this registrations come to an email. This email is taken by a person A, and this person A is taking this data and copy paste the data into a Excel file. And then after this Excel file is built with all the registrations from people that like this company B wants to register to sell the services for company A. And then this is what we wanted to fix, actually, to be all this process digital.
I know I'm putting you on the spot, but you're doing terrific. And it's really helping me understand who could now share with us what Herman's big idea is. What's the one thing he needs his audience to know? Do we understand it a little differently? A different perspective?
Hi. So from what I'm hearing is that you want to improve efficiency and you want to introduce innovation into the processes of those companies. Is that right?
Okay. Anybody else? Or Sola, did you want to chime in and then go to Matthias and Melanie?
Yes. I was thinking actually in the same direction, that he wants to improve processes and eliminate unnecessary documentation and steps in these processes. So there is more automatization.
Excellent. So A or B, A being the first minute where Herman presented and talked about corporate registration and they need to be digital, or B, where Herman talked about company B selling services and going into the whole copy paste. Which one was a more clear understanding for you of what Herman's big idea is for his talk? In the chat, what do we got? Two B. Anybody else? So, like we did with a simple question, how was your weekend? When we got into a specific moment, a story, even though we didn't have to mention the company's names, look at the clarity, the comprehension, the focus that the audience had. Everything is a piece of a story, but when we get specific, it streamlines it. You've got 3 minutes to make a presentation. You can't waste 5 seconds. You can't waste 60 seconds. We opened up the session right away with discussions. We got right into the chat. Boom, boom, boom. The energy was there. I didn't start that energy at half after the hour. You might be sleeping or tuned out and said, this is terrible, right? So to set the tone, to bring your audience in to your idea, to captivate, is being specific. For example, let me share it with you this way. This is what we experienced. My team did this. And yes, thank you, Herman. Well done for showing the team that's here today that you were willing to go out there and speak up. How did you feel about each version of that? How do you feel about what you're reading in the chat is what I really should share.
I realized that actually I was not so clear at the beginning, of course, because it was knocking in my head this like, don't say names, don't say whatever, right? And it's like, okay, then there's no need to say a name of a company, of a person, and so on. Then you can say about the activity and be specific.
Yes.
I realized that, and the second round, of course, and clearly all the rest, they felt the same. So happy.
Yes. And which was easier for you to present, to talk about?
Yeah, I'm not afraid of talking much on the public, so I like to facilitate workshops, and this is what I'm doing also as a product designer in this company.
Nice.
But I'm like also learning a lot about this, like how the energy of the group can influence also in me as a facilitator, and then like it happened to me actually, like last in the first one that I mentioned, I felt a lot of, I hate this word, but about detractors, right? So, but I felt a lot of bad energy kind of feeling, and that influenced me a lot, and then put me in a position that I didn't want to be, because I like to be energetic in the workshops. But then it was like, well, okay, I was like stepping back, and then like trying to get agreements and so on. Like I said, these agreements, they ask for it.
I love it. And it goes back to Tessa's original comment at the very beginning about having to do too many things. The brain's almost multitasking. Great news. The conversation continues. When you subscribe, like, and ring the bell, you'll know when a new episode has released. As always, speak remarkably.